Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. It is Friday, September 23rd, 2016, and I'm Leanne McAdoo. Here's what's coming up tonight.
Tonight, as rioters continue to destroy their own neighborhoods in Charlotte, North Carolina, the mainstream media tells their dwindling audience that it's a peaceful protest.
All white people are devils.
Then, these are the rules of the debate. Infowars prepares for live coverage of Trump versus Hillary on Monday night. And the debate commission denies Hillary's request for a step stool. Plus, no coughing allowed. And YouTube is going to fight the trolls by empowering an army of trolls themselves to censor content that they say might be offensive. All that plus much more up next on the Infowars Nightly News.
Joe Biggs here with Infowars.com. Join us for our live coverage of the upcoming debate between Donald J. Trump and Hillary Clinton on September 26th. Go to Infowars.com/show for all the live coverage, and also go to the Alex Jones channel on YouTube. Will Hillary wear an earpiece? Will Donald Trump and Hillary actually be on the same stage? Or will they try to do another forum like we've seen before? This is all going to be leading up to our 48-hour long coverage on November 8th of the election between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and the future of America. Make sure you spread this like wildfire, because we need to get patriots all over the country aligned and ready to stand up and make the changes we need done by voting and getting someone in who will actually take America back and make America great again. This has been Joe Biggs with Infowars.com.
Well, just to underscore how crazy scared the Democrats are that they might actually lose this election, here's another effort that they're trying to do to steal this election. The Department of Homeland Security is actually rubber stamping citizenships prior to the election. They're waiving security checks to register as many new immigrant voters as they possibly can. Now, this Senate Republicans obtained an email showing a Texas immigration office demanding volunteers to work overtime in an effort to grant as many people citizenship as possible before the end of September. The July memo is from a branch chief at the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Houston office, and it said the goal was to approve as many citizenship applications as possible due to the election year. Now, Democrats and their pro-amnesty allies launched an effort earlier this year to help 1 million permanent residents become citizens and register to vote, but they fell almost 400,000 people short. So now they had an influx of nearly 600,000 new citizenship applications, but that completely overwhelmed the agency. So now they need these new volunteers to come in, work overtime, so they can process these applications, clear the backlog, so that they can get these people registered to vote. So they don't even care. They're waiving the security checks. They don't even know who they're bringing in. They don't even know, if they're going to even pass the citizenship test properly. They just got to get them in, get them ready to vote. Who cares if they even are going to have the values that we deem so important here to become an American citizen? This is what we're having to deal with this election cycle. It's absolutely crazy. Now, something big that just happened today, we've been telling you about this, the Saudi 9/11 bill that would allow families of the 9/11 victims to be able to sue Saudi Arabia thanks to the declassification of the 28 pages. Well, the White House vetoed that legislation today. And Obama, of course, came out and kept on saying that the courts are going to end up wading into terrorism issues that are best left to national security and foreign policy officials. He doesn't want to have to become the victim of any of these foreign countries coming after him for war crimes, for all of the drone retaliation and all of the innocent civilians being killed with his drone strikes. He said he's very good at killing people. And he also warned about potentially serious financial consequences for the United States. Of course, we know Saudi Arabia threatened to cut off all that funding. So here we are, once again, taking orders from Saudi Arabia. Owen Schroyer has more.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barack Obama has just vetoed a bill that would allow United States citizens and the families of the victims of 9/11 to sue Saudi Arabia. Now, if you just want to make this as a plain Jane statement as possible, Barack Obama has just put the interest of Saudi Arabia over the interest of United States citizens. If that doesn't tell you who Barack Obama really is, I don't know what will. Folks, Donald Trump brought the 28 classified pages to light. Jeb Bush tried to act like they didn't exist. The mainstream media tried to act like they didn't exist. You were called a conspiracy theorist if you brought them up. Donald Trump brought them to the forefront, and now families are using that momentum to try to seek some truth and justice from 9/11. So what do? They want to sue Saudi Arabia, and guess who's right there to block their path? Barack Obama. Once again, folks, Barack Obama is not for the United States. He's not for the United States citizen. And I think that this story illustrates how Barack Obama puts the interest of Saudi Arabia over the interest of his own citizens. This is despicable and disgraceful, but who would expect less from our current commander-in-chief? Barack Obama, you are more loyal to Saudi Arabia than you are the United States. This is Owen Schroyer from Infowars.com.
Senator Schumer and John Cornyn have spoken out about this, saying this is absolutely ludicrous. And of course, it's going to be swiftly and soundly overturned in Congress. They've called this a disappointing decision on behalf of the Obama administration, saying it's a refusal to listen to the families of the victims taken from us on September 11th. If the Saudis did nothing wrong, they should not fear this legislation. If they were culpable in 9/11, they should be held accountable. The families of the victims of 9/11 deserve their day in court, and justice for those families shouldn't be thrown overboard because of diplomatic concerns and, quite frankly, threats from Saudi Arabia. But that's what we're dealing with here. Now, other things that we can expect to have all of our eyes on are Hillary Clinton's wonky eyes in this upcoming debate. Now, a lot of people are really talking about the fact that her eyes seem to be all over the place in one of her latest appearances when she wasn't, woke up from one of her naps. But there's an article up at The Hill talking about Clinton's eye issues and saying that it appears she has a problem with her left sixth cranial nerve. That nerve serves only one function, and that's to make the lateral rectus muscle contract. And that is what helps keep the eyes in control there. It comes out of the base of the brain, runs along the floor of the skull, immediately beneath the brain before coursing upward toward the eye. Dysfunction of that could cause what we saw with Hillary Clinton the other day. Now, it really goes on to break down about Hillary Clinton's report from her physician and why people are now calling for her to have a thorough neurologic exam, and an independent one, not one performed by her physicians, but an independent physician that isn't bought and paid for by the Clintons, talking about her physician reported that she was placed on Coumadin to dissolve the blood clot. But that's incorrect because Coumadin has no effect on an existing blood clot. It only serves to decrease the chance of further clotting. And the physician also reported on follow-up exam that the clot had resolved. But that's surprising since the majority of such clots do not dissolve. And the way that it was documented that this clot had resolved hasn't been reported. So, here we have an anomaly that they say, just trust us. We've checked up on her. It's totally fine. It's gone. She's completely fine. And then they say it's most likely that she still does have this clot. The transverse sinus is still blocked. So that would cause increased pressure, swelling, decreased blood flow to the brain. That would place pressure on the exposed portion of that nerve at the base of her brain, which would explain her eyes and also that collapse that we witnessed in New York City on 9/11. And there again, they just demand that she undergo an independent neurologic exam, have proper studies to determine whether or not she still has this blood clot at the base of her brain, swelling of the brain, and increased intracranial pressure. And, whether or not her brain injury, traumatic brain injury, by the way, is still going to affect her ability to do her job. There you go, people. It's not a conspiracy theory anymore. A lot of people are now coming out saying, you know what, we really do need to get to the bottom of this. She ain't that healthy. And check this out. So here's just another way that we're having to deal with these people who are just wheeling this woman out. Like Matt Drudge said, she's going to be a brain in the jar there at the White House. They're doing everything they can to get her in, like we saw with the FBI investigation. Well, now the FBI has given immunity to her top aide, Cheryl Mills, and 2 other staff members. They were granted immunity deals in exchange for their cooperation in the now closed FBI investigation. So the Associated Press was told today that Mills gave federal investigators access to her laptop on the condition that what they found couldn't be used against her. What? So just like they didn't have Hillary Clinton testify under oath, then they also have one of her top aides, who, by the way, was also allowed to represent her in this FBI investigation. She said there was a certain time within the investigation, she had to turn to her attorney, her representation, Cheryl Mills. How does that happen? How do you get to represent the client in a case that you yourself might be caught up in? How does that even work? But it does work, because when you're the crooked Hillary Clinton, you get what you want. So that's just even more craziness. Hopefully she'll be asked about it. Maybe Donald Trump will be one of the only people to bring it up in the debate. That would be rather exciting, keep us on the edge of our seat. But don't worry, that whole FBI investigation, we're going to get to the bottom of it, because it's now been announced most of Clinton's recovered emails will be released after the election, right after the election day. This is according to a new timetable that was set today by a federal judge. So they're doing every single thing they can to make sure that this brain in a jar makes it to the White House.
If you want to know about all the countries that Hillary Clinton has single-handedly destroyed, look no further than our website, Infowars.com. There's an article up online right now. It's trending, written by Wayne Madsen. Wayne's going to be on Alex Jones' show later today, and then the Nightly News tonight with Owen Schroyer. I want to take you through what he said. I encourage you to take a look at this 11-page article in its entirety. It's amazing. It's entitled, Here's a Handy Chart of Clinton's World Destruction. And then he goes on to write about what Secretary of State Colin Powell had written about Hillary Clinton. He basically said everything she touches turns to you-know-what. He said she screws up everything with hubris. And then Madsen gives this brilliant, detailed list of every country that she's been involved in and single-handedly what she's done to them. You know, Madsen talks about as Clinton as Secretary of State, she threatened Belarus, Ecuador, Bolivia, Cuba, Somalia, Uzbekistan, and Peru with recriminations if they recognized a state that she was trying to ignore. He talks about her involvement in Libya, the gun aspect of what she did on the ground in Libya, what she's done in Syria, and what her actions have done that have led to the creation of ISIS. So we're talking about a woman that is on a major power trip right now. She wants the highest office in our land, and yet look at her track record. She screws up everything she touches. Can you only imagine the foreign policy regime that we're going to have if she gets her hands on the keys to the White House? Now, Wayne Madsen goes on to talk about how Clinton's involvement in the Arab Spring resulted in the rise of Sunni Wahhabism and the Islamic State. Basically, she had a hand in the creation of ISIS in northern and western Iraq, and Iraq's plunge and dissension into hell. He goes on to talk about in 2009 her involvement in Kosovo, which led to the state increasingly becoming a state ruled by criminal syndicates and terrorists and former Liberation Army officials, which we know were basically terrorists. So we need to take a look at Hillary Clinton's record. She has a lengthy past full of crimes. I encourage you, go to our website, take a look at this article. While you're at it, download our app, Infowars.com/app. I'm Margaret Howell reporting for Infowars.com.
Well, YouTube is taking another giant leap toward political censorship. No, it's not enough that they want to demonetize any videos that have controversial topics. No, now they're going all the way. They're hiring, well, actually, it's a volunteer army of trolls to fight trolling online. So this is the new Heroes program, and this is going to get an army of volunteers, going to give them the power to mass flag and delete content which they disagree with. So this is going to open the door to total censorship anything that they deem to be offensive. It could have cussing. It could have topics that they don't like. It could be inappropriate. It's just willy-nilly, whatever they think. So these people are being called heroes. So no, now you're not just a social justice warrior. You are a hero. These people are total red shirts, and this completely explains why these tech giants are all for the United States handing over their power as far as protecting the integrity of the internet. It's President Obama's one last globalist push before he leaves office to hand over control of the internet. They want to take away the power of the people, which has risen with the invention of the internet, and they want to give it back to the dinosaur media, who is going to continue to pump out their propaganda and keep everyone placated. This might have been one of our last free elections we might ever witness, folks. So it is pivotal that you pay attention. Stick around. Owen Schroyer will be joining me.
Owen Schroyer from Infowars.com. Ted Cruz has just decided to endorse Donald Trump. There was a lot of skepticism. Would he endorse Trump? Would he endorse anyone? Is he going to kind of backtrack and support Hillary? But he has come out and said that he endorses Donald Trump. Now, this is just days before the first presidential debate. I wonder if that weighed into his decision to endorse now. Was this a political decision? Is Ted Cruz trying to cover being as he's a Republican and trying to get a little more momentum going in perhaps another race for Senate upcoming? Or does he really like Donald Trump? Does he think Donald Trump is a good candidate for United States president? So Cruz endorses Trump. Will Trump now see a surge in the polls? There are a lot of people who don't like Trump that were Cruz fans. Maybe now they like Donald Trump. But this is a very pivotal time for Ted Cruz to come out and say he endorses Donald Trump just days before the first presidential debate. Now, Ted Cruz has been very good in his Senate seat fighting for internet freedom in America. Now Ted Cruz comes out and endorses Trump. Maybe we're seeing Ted Cruz turn a new leaf. The Bushes are going to endorse Clinton. Ted Cruz has decided he's going to endorse Donald Trump. So we'll stay tuned to see what else Ted Cruz has up his sleeve as this crazy political campaign cycle continues.
Did you know that only 6 corporations control 90% of what millions of Americans see, hear, and read every single day? It's the illusion of choice. Think about it. The mainstream media is owned by only a handful of megacorporations with vested interests. But on the other hand, the internet is an interconnected network of billions of sources. So you can research information for yourself from multiple sources, or you can blindly accept what you hear or read in the mainstream media, never questioning what you are being told. This gives you a false sense of reality. I mean, do you actually know what you think you know? Or have you been programmed to accept someone else's version of events? Think about it. This is Darren McBreen, and I want you to break the matrix at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv and listen to The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on your mind.
It's almost here. You can cut the tension with a knife. The first real debate for 90 minutes, head-to-head, hosted at a university in New York next Monday at 8 o'clock Central until 9:30 Central. And Infowars.com will be covering it live on the scene and with our own feeds, as well as live commentary and analysis at Infowars.com/show. A few weeks ago, I made the point that this could be bigger than the Super Bowl because the American people are really starting to wake up. And guess what? Top media analysts have now come out and looked at the early numbers coming in, and it appears there could be as many as 100 million viewers. That has never happened in history and will be bigger than any TV show, including the Super Bowl, that the United States has ever broadcast. But I wouldn't hold your breath. Something tells me there's less than a 50-50 chance Hillary's going to show up to this debate. In fact, she's only doing like one event a week and isn't doing any events now right through next Monday. That tells you how incredibly sick she is. And as Trump begins to surge in the polls, you would expect her to be out on the street redoubling her efforts, but she's not. So even if she makes it to the debate next Monday night, how is she going to be able to stand up there for 90 minutes? So I wonder what the numbers are if I was a betting man on her collapsing or having a coughing fit and having to cut the debate short. And don't forget, there's precedence for this. During one of the Democrat debates, they had to pause for like 10 minutes because she wouldn't come out after the, quote, commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, you talk about edge of your seat. I don't care about sports and stuff like that because it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect my life or my children's future, but this does. I'm proud to see the American people so excited about this debate. And it's because we're finally getting somebody real to go up against the establishment represented by Hillary Clinton. This isn't sports, this is reality. We're not just spectators watching some basketball or football game, we're actually in the arena. This is our country, this is our world, and the sleeping giant is awakening. And Infowars will be on the field at the event in New York and right here in Austin, Texas, with the live feed and live analysis. Join Infowars for live coverage of the first debate, kicking off 1 hour before the debate starts at 7 o'clock Central at Infowars.com/show. You can also sign up for our free newsletter, and we'll send links out to you at Infowars.com/newsletter. You can also go to Infowars.com/app and download our new interactive app that has audio, video feeds, special live reports, and so much more. Again, watch the debate on your smart TV or at Infowars.com/show or on the free app at Infowars.com/app. From the entire Infowars news crew here in Austin, Texas, I salute our fellow InfoWarriors, not just here in the United States, but worldwide. The revolution against global tyranny is being televised. This is the heart of 1776.
YouTube has unveiled a new anti-harassment censorship tool that is going to be utilized by a volunteer army of Orwellian purgers. That's right, this is the new YouTube Heroes program, and it allows volunteers to use super tools to moderate the site, and it gives them special points from tasks such as reporting videos. Now you're not just a social justice warrior, but you can actually level up to becoming a hero in the ministry of truth. The tools are going to be available only to those people who are accepted into the YouTube Heroes program. And the better you are at reporting the videos that hurt people's feelings or content that just doesn't fit well with the globalist corporation's agenda, well, you get to go all the way to the tippy top of Snitch Tower. Now, you know what this reminds me of? China's social credit system. Now, this doesn't go into full effect until 2020, but it was first introduced last year. It was launched as a game, and it was basically how to teach people to behave the way the state wants them to. Now, this is going under the name of Sesame Credit. The government partnered up with China's largest social networks to generate something like the U.S. credit score, but it incorporates all sorts of online and offline data. It categorizes personal identity, credit card and other contract payments, social engagement, and shopping habits. Some argue that it's less of a credit score and more of a way to measure how obediently you follow the party line. The ACLU warned that among the things that could hurt a citizen's score are posting political opinions without prior permission or posting information that the regime does not like, such as about the Tiananmen Square massacre that the government carried out to hold on to power or the Shanghai stock market collapse. It will hurt your score not only if you do these things, but also if any of your friends or contacts do them. So in other words, people not only face the threat of becoming the target of state surveillance, but also losing their friends if they post any political views that are frowned upon by the state. So this is ultimately going to create a docile, compliant citizenry who only behaves because of the self-imposed group social control. Now, Paul Joseph Watson actually predicted something like this heading our way when he reported on this program in 2015. He called it a chilling prospect that could one day arrive in America if social justice warriors get their way. Well, my friends, I think that day has arrived. Now check this out, because in 2016, China banned internet news reporting, saying that companies have seriously violated internet regulations by carrying news content that they obtained through original reporting. It's caused huge negative effects for the government. Now, just this month, YouTube cracked down on politically incorrect opinions. They started demonetizing any videos that contain controversial or sensitive subjects and events. This includes subjects related to war, political conflicts, natural disasters, and tragedies, even if graphic imagery is not shown. Inappropriate language, including harassment, profanity, and vulgar language, is also being demonetized. So YouTube's policy enforcement is going to completely disincentivize YouTubers from expressing any controversial opinions or discussing politically incorrect topics, because they already know that they're going to be punished for doing so. And now this new YouTube Heroes program is going to ensure that enemies of the statist agenda will not only be deprived of their income, but they'll be purged altogether. Now, we've already seen other sites like Facebook and Twitter begin actively censoring prominent voices on the internet who counter the progressive agenda. And let's not forget, in a telling move, Lu Wei, the czar of China's draconian internet censorship system, paid a visit to Facebook offices in 2014, despite the fact that the social networking website is completely banned in China. This is the same year testing began on a pilot program here in the US that could lead to a Chinese-style internet ID system for internet users. Breitbart reported that Jigsaw, which is a subsidiary company of YouTube's parent Google, were working on multiple technological projects that would increase censorship and monitoring of users on all their services. Services which may soon include Twitter if they finalize a sale. Jigsaw's founder, Jared Cohen, said, "I want to use the best technology we have at our disposal to begin to take on trolling and other nefarious tactics that give hostile voices disproportionate weight. We will do everything we can to level the playing field." So this is a very chilling statement, because who gets to decide what voices are hostile and to whom? The state? The New World Order? Because that's what this is all about. And perhaps the reason that these voices like Alex Jones and Infowars or Paul Joseph Watson have become so large and so powerful, so pervasive, is because people are hungry for the truth that can pierce through the programming. And now when Cohen says he wants to level the playing field, he's talking about taking the power away from the people, this power that has really skyrocketed with the advent of the internet, and he wants to restore that power to the state-sponsored propaganda channels like the dying lamestream media that has become totally ineffective. The Obama administration plans to hand over control of the internet to international authorities on October 1st. Critics of the move have pointed out that ICANN could be used by totalitarian governments to shut down the web around the globe, either in whole or in part. And not surprisingly, internet giants are backing this move to hand over control of the internet to globalists. Now, these corporations have become so large, they're more powerful than countries in some cases, and they've set themselves up to become a public utility which has the power to cut off not only the income stream from new media, but also the information stream.
I'm here to say, and this is the reason why I came to see you, Alex, is you are one of the very few who are operating under this theory to be an independent American in a big way. I don't know why they've been successful in pushing everybody into these little ghettos of these Facebooks and these tweets and these Instagrams, these Instas. This is ghetto. This is ghetto. This is corporate. They're taking your energy. They're taking your energy and you're getting nothing in return. Nothing.
They're dumbing the language down. Twitter's designed to reduce the language directly out of 1984. It's ingsoc.
Harmonious Black Lives Matter activists staged a peaceful protest in Charlotte last night, but were brutally tear-gassed by racist cops. Oh, wait a second. Physically attacking reporters is not a legitimate form of protest. Shooting each other is not a legitimate form of protest. Stealing and looting cash registers from local businesses is not a legitimate form of protest. Trying to set journalists on fire is not a legitimate form of protest. Throwing rocks off bridges at passing vehicles full of families is not a legitimate form of protest. Beating up innocent people in underground parking lots because they're white is not a legitimate form of protest. Smashing up apartment windows where black people live to protest in favour of Black Lives Matter is not a legitimate form of protest. Smashing up buses that poor black people rely on to get to their jobs is not a legitimate form of protest. Looting the Charlotte Hornets team store so you can steal basketball merchandise is not a legitimate form of protest. Stealing sneakers is not a legitimate form of protest. Attempting to hijack cars and terrify their innocent occupants is not a legitimate form of protest. But how did MSNBC report on all this? By calling the rioters peaceful.
The people that are out here protesting, they're hugging and they're like, they're being very peaceful.
We were following this crowd that was largely peaceful.
Mostly peaceful. We've also seen some sweet scenes of protesters hugging one another and praying. Mostly a group of peaceful protesters. Peaceful, 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 peaceful.
And that's why 94% of Americans don't trust the mainstream media. What's unfolding in Charlotte is objectively, manifestly, provably not a protest. It's a violent, unjustified riot by criminals, gang members, and thugs. Why is the media giving it legitimacy by still referring to it as a protest? If mobs of white supremacists were looting stores, setting fires, attacking journalists, and shooting guns, would the media call it a protest? But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all this was completely justified because another racist white police officer killed an innocent unarmed black man who was merely carrying a book. Oh wait, he was actually killed by a black cop.
All white people are devils.
But what kind of book was he carrying? Paperback? Hardcover? Oh no, it was a 9mm gun. Well, imagine my shock. So a black cop shoots an armed black thug with a criminal record, and then a black protester shoots another black protester. Yeah, must be white people's fault. I guess it's my fault for not checking my privilege. And how did de facto Black Lives Matter leader DeRay McKesson respond to the riots, the looting, the bloodshed, the mayhem, the violence? By tweeting, "We stand with you," because nothing says justice like destroying your own city and living up to the very stereotype about black people that you constantly complain about.
This is the answer for your children to totally absorb the multivitamins, the minerals, the amino acids, everything at once. Unveil Vitamin Mineral Fusion Advanced Multivitamin Formula, 30 servings, fruit punch flavored dietary supplement. It is simply amazing. InfoWarsLife.com.
There's a million different products like this out there that they're good in different ways. But this takes all of the vitamins, all of the essential amino acids, all of the essential compounds and minerals that you need, puts it into something that's great tasting as opposed to like clumpy, gross stuff. And you can put it in your drink every morning. I put it in my protein shake. It is the platinum standard, in my view, of multivitamins in terms of an advanced multi-drink vitamin.
The cleanest, the purest, new stuff had to be invented. That's why it took this long to even bring us something this good.
Some companies are going to take a small amount of vitamins and make it, so there's so much filler, it looks like there's a lot. This is ultra concentrated. We're not playing games here. Okay,
well, that's my philosophy. That's your philosophy.
Yeah,
I want to, but again, there's some great stuff out there.
Yeah,
and there's other,
No, of course, definitely.
There's other powders I promote at InfoWarsHealth.com. Yeah, they're excellent. I mean, there's some good stuff out there. This is just the very best we can bring you, and when you buy it, you support InfoWars, you support the reporters, you support yourself. Tell folks about some of these other things that are in this and why this is just this total, complete package for your body. Because, again, we didn't put the synthetic amino acids. We didn't put the synthetic vitamins. We put the plant-based, high-quality, clean, natural ingredients into this.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got your standard vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin E, the list goes on.
A huge amount of vitamin C, by the way. Tell folks about that.
1,000+% of your daily value, which is what you need. because the FDA guidelines, we all know about those. Zinc, magnesium, selenium, L-glutamine. Each one of these you could go on for about 10 minutes about the benefits of these things. Alpha-lipoic acid, folic acid, calcium, and the list goes on. 34 other ones you can check out. Go to InfoWarsLife.com. The label's up there. You've got the entire ingredients list that you can neurotically examine for yourself. And just,
by the way, look on the other side too, because we're showing people the minerals and things. Let's look at the vitamins right there, all it's got in there. I mean, it's amazing.
Top left.
Again, if you're radio listeners, Infowars.com/show. Vitamin A has 4,333% from beta carotene and what's that other source? I just know that's all the best sources.
Retinol. So you've also got your vitamin D at 1,000 IU, which is a large dose actually. And you know what? Some people could say, well, isn't this competing with your other products? Well, yeah, you know what? We could be like some people and just take all the stuff that we sell also at InfoWarsLife.com and not put any of it, but then it wouldn't be a balanced formula, and we're not going to do that. And it might actually hurt us in the long run to put all the best stuff in here, but that's just the way we got to do it, because we can't start thinking like that.
So get them today, InfoWarsLife.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139. My name is Alex Jones. Most of you know me from my syndicated radio program and my documentary films, as well as Infowars Nightly News. When I got on air 20 years ago, I had discovered the globalist program, their plan to take over the world, and my focus went from running 6 miles every other day, swimming 2-3 miles a couple times a week, and lifting weights, to focusing on fighting the globalist. I've gone from 279 pounds all the way down to 235 pounds, and the weight's going off even faster. And it wasn't just that my weight loss accelerated. My muscle mass increased. My stamina, my energy levels exploded. Super Male has the key concentrated natural compounds that my body needed to go to the next level. Today is the day to take the InfoWarsLife.com challenge and to secure your bottle of Super Male or Super Female Vitality. Check them out today at InfoWarsLife.com or give our crew a call at 888-253-3139.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Joe Biggs here with Infowars.com. I just arrived in Uptown Charlotte, where last night a second night of protests turned into violent and deadly riots. You know, we've seen this happen in Ferguson. We saw it happen in Baltimore. And I was very shocked and surprised when I found out this was happening in my own hometown of Charlotte. You know, originally when it happened on Tuesday, I was kind of set back. I was like, nothing like this is ever going to happen in Charlotte where I live. And I didn't think it would last more than a day. But last night it turned very violent again. And right behind me is what should be a very active crime scene. This is where the guy was shot and critically wounded last night. And for some reason, they're allowing people to walk all over this crime scene. What we found out last night is the guy was shot, taken to the hospital. He had life-threatening injuries. We were told at first that he was dead. Then it came back that he wasn't. And now we just found out that the guy has died from those injuries as well. Charlotte has been declared a state of emergency. The National Guard has been called. And as you can see right here in front of me, we have one of many Humvees that are in the surrounding area guarding businesses. Now, a parking garage just like this right here to my right is where you saw a video of a man, a white man, being beaten and dragged across the floor while his pants were being stripped off of his body. Over here, there is a large group of protesters, and that is right in the area where a man was shot in the head. Come to find out, the guy has died. Last night, there were reports that he was in the hospital because he has sustained life-threatening injuries, and he has now died. So these protests have now turned into deadly riots that have taken one person's life so far. We also got information that the family of the man that was killed was brought in to view the dash cam footage from the police vehicle when the shooting happened. And what they said after they saw it, the family of the victim, was no comment, which leads us to believe that the footage does not look good for the narrative that they would like you to think, that this man was not reading a book, sitting in his car, helpless and innocent like they say. The word is this guy was possibly rolling a joint and had a gun in his lap, and the police showed up and there was an altercation. The guy didn't listen to police commands, didn't drop his weapon, and was shot and killed. And this is one of the buildings that was vandalized last night, as you can see with all the boards up on it. People decided to put signs up that says an eye for an eye only ends up making the whole world blind, a quote from Gandhi. And then we also have, if you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy. Then he becomes your partner, Nelson Mandela. As you can see, there's a large crowd of people that are marching right here. The police station's right up here. And this is the jail that's downtown. That was a large group of maybe, I don't know, a few hundred protesters out here, marched up, and as they came up, you can see lights flickering and people banging on the window. Are those protesters that have been arrested over the past 3 days? Or are these prisoners that have been there for a while standing in solidarity for what's going on out here? I don't know, but it was interesting to see everybody come out, start chanting, screaming outside of the prison. There's people jumping the walls up to the prison, which is something you don't see, people jumping towards the prison, but there's people running around now, climbing up. I've never seen this before. But look at this. I mean, there's so many people out here. Right now, it's pretty cool, calm, and collective. No violence thus far, but there's people. Look at this. They're running around, jumping up here if they can. And I don't know if we can see any more lights flickering on and off. There was a whole bunch earlier, but look at this. Just tons of people, man. So there's a larger group down here. Let's walk over here and check it out. All right, we're gonna go back over this way.
What you gonna do now then? You gonna shoot us now? Let's go, man. Let's go. You ain't trying to protect nobody. You ain't trying to protect nobody. Let's go, bitch. He good. He good. Yeah, I'm good. Are you good? Be good then.
I think there's a lot of misinformation going on.
What kind of misinformation is there?
The story from the cops is that the guy had a gun. He got out of the car a couple of different times.
Yeah.
But if you talk to the people that live in the community that know this man and know his routine, what he does every day, that's not what he was about. They said this man had a book on his lap. He got out of the car with his hands up. Now, everybody that lives there and is witnesses to the situation is saying one thing. It's the police saying something else. Now, there's the videotape, which could clear it out for everybody. Now, I can tell you one thing for sure, two things for certain. If the tape showed and supported their narrative, the tape would already be out.
That's right.
Look at the color of our skin, all right? Every day we wake up, it's a problem. Every day. We don't know if we're gonna make it home just for being out here. Just the color of our skin. And
now,
it's been like that.
Has it been this way for
It's been like this
for
400 years ago.
Yeah, but
what up, Bo?
It's still the South.
Yeah.
This is where they had the sit-ins at. I'm gonna give you a gem, something you don't know about. Around the year 2000. There was
hit him with this.
There was a class at the CMPD where they got caught cheating on the test, and everybody from that class got kicked out. But the year before that, and the year before that, going 3 years back, all those people still in the police force. This might be some of the guys that's out here now. I don't know how big that story was, but it was real. And I know for a fact it was more than the people who got caught cheating. It's people before and it's people after. They should not be police, and they out here, and they real police.
Look at this. There are thousands of people out here right now. Cops are starting to yell right now. We heard police officers up on the bridge locking and loading their guns. The entire interstate right here is now blocked off. Here come the riot police. They're now moving in. Hey, get over here, get over here. Whoa! They're shooting rubber bullets now. Share this now. Hey, get over here. Hey, Dean, get over here.
It is
guys, if you just go from the Infowars Periscope, they have formed a human wall blocking off the interstate. We've got riot police coming up over here on the side. Whoa, 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 whoa. They're shooting tear gas. You shoot me with pepper spray. God almighty. Ah, he's got me right in the eye.
Sorry about that, man. That's ridiculous. That's uncalled for. You good?
Yeah. No, it's just going in my eyes more now.
Here. Put that mask on. Sorry, man. I know it's vinegar, but it'll help. You all right, brother?
Yeah, it's all part of the job.
There's a mask.
I can't see anything yet. Hold on. I'm freaking blind.
This is saline. Can I spray your face?
Yes, please.
Can you try your best to open your eyes?
Smell it. Here they come. Come on, get up. Come on, they're coming up.
Hey, guide me up because I don't know where the hell I'm going right now. I can't see anything. Woo-hoo-hoo. All part of the job.
Introducing Secret 12, the new Infowars Life vitamin B12 formulation. Now, InfowarsLife.com is excited to announce that we can bring you our most bioactive, powerful form of B12 that has been developed with our exclusive perfected process. Secret 12 is a binary of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12. Secure your revolutionary Secret 12 formula right now at InfowarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this the last few months. You probably noticed I've been more crazed, more focused, less brain fog, more energy, more special reports, and it's because of Brain Force.
We kept changing this formula over and over and over again until it became sort of a grand puzzle. This just increases the compounds you already have.
This is what you're actually designed to run on. You will find Brain Force, Survival Shield X2, and other game-changing products at InfowarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Thousands of years ago, there was a basic form of chivalry. Our ancestors would hear the drums of war, giving the warriors of the tribe a chance to organize and prepare a defense. 60 years ago, when foreign air forces were approaching filled with bombs, they had drums of their own, air raid sirens. But in the 21st century, there are silent weapons for quiet war. Pathogens added to the food and water, and to the lining of plastics that destroy our vitality, turn off our hormones, and accelerate our journey towards death. I personally counter this onslaught with Anthroplex. Anthroplex is designed with known organic concentrated herbs to create the basic foundation to normal metabolic activity inside the human body. Discover why Anthroplex is turning so many heads today. It's time for us to take our bodies back into our own hands, and it starts at InfowarsLife.com with Anthroplex.
Welcome back. Owen Schroyer joins me in studio now. We are going to break down, what we think is going to happen in this upcoming debate. Now, Hillary Clinton, she's been a little MIA, except for that one angry shouting video that she was able to make in between her nap time. Donald Trump, of course, has been on fire, but I don't know, Owen, what do you foresee?
Well, this is, for all the people who have been following this election cycle, for all the people who pay attention to Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, whatever side of this you're on, this is the postseason. This is the Super Bowl. This is the biggest thing. All of these sports pundits want to sit here all day and pontificate on one game or one play. So this is our big game. This is our big pontification. What I'm expecting, man, I don't even know. Who could have predicted all the stuff that we've seen through this election cycle? Even the craziest of conspiracy theorists, I don't think could have predicted all the stuff we've seen. Hillary Clinton's googly eyes, Hillary Clinton's seizures, Hillary Clinton completely passing out. Donald Trump's rise in popularism like we've seen. It's all crazy, and it all kind of culminates and reaches a head here with this debate. Now, I am expecting Donald Trump to absolutely mop the floor with Hillary Clinton. To me, this is like Mike Tyson in his prime getting into the ring with a 12-year-old who just picked up a set of boxing gloves for the first time in his life. It's simply not fair. It's simply ridiculous. And most people should say it shouldn't even happen just based on ethics. But Hillary Clinton's going to get into the ring with Donald Trump. And what's she going to say? You know, we're preparing. We're going to have great debate coverage here on Infowars.com. All of our reporters are going to be on the scene, breaking down every little angle. And we're going to be pointing out Hillary's lies. And we're going to be looking at what Trump says, too. But it's too easy, Leanne. We've been watching these debates, right? And we've seen what Hillary Clinton has said. She's going to lie, okay? She's going to come out. She's going to lie.
And no one's going to check her on it. They haven't thus far.
And she's going to paint a false narrative. And we're going to be right here doing it. So the question is, how deep is it going to go? How deep is Hillary Clinton going to go on these lies? How far is she going to go? Is Donald Trump going to call her on it on the scene? Or are we going to see Donald Trump try to retract from getting into ad hominem attacks or calling her lies or crooked Hillary, whatever it is, and just stick to policy issues?
Yeah, stick to the policy. Because people do want to know. They want to see where he's coming from. And I feel like the debate moderators might even at times try to throw him off a little bit just to get him off track, to get him to say something sensational that that'll be in the whole news cycle for the next few days. It won't be anything about what he was actually bringing to the table. Now, just taking it back a little bit to, you know, her being unexperienced or whatever. Yeah, you know, she's very ill and she needs the stool, but they're not going to let her have that stool on the debate stage. But she has been on the debate stage nearly 40 times. She's had Senate run, 2 presidential bids. So she's been up there. She's an old pro at this. The thing is that she's never had to prepare for an opponent quite like Donald Trump. Who knows what kind of tactic he is going to take with this first debate. They're expecting this to be huge, one of the most important 90 minutes of this entire presidential election.
And it'll be interesting to see how that's reflected in the ratings. This is probably going to be the best rated presidential debate, certainly of my life, maybe all time. It might even compete with sporting events at how good these ratings are going to be.
This is what it feels like.
And I agree with you.
Like
you know, just because Hillary Clinton is very experienced in these debates, you got to keep in mind, Hillary Clinton is used to going up against controlled opposition. Hillary Clinton is used to going up against controlled media. And, you know, that's another question, Leanne. Do you think that, because obviously when Donald Trump has had these debates, the media has been against him. They've been trying to spin and twist questions and put him into a corner and put him in awkward positions. But I think that's kind of helped Donald Trump in this campaign cycle. He's won every debate he's been in. So will we see the media kind of refrain from doing that because now the media realizes they're unpopular and they don't want to give Trump the advantage? Right. That'll be an interesting thing to watch.
Yeah, well, and he has already shown that he's not afraid to give the low blows. Like, he'll go there. He'll talk about how your brother was the president during 9/11 and why don't you ask your brother, you know? And he'll talk about Bill Clinton being a rapist and why are we going to have the first rapist in the White House again, to be able to get back into the Oval Office and do what he's going to do there. Like, he's not afraid to go there with Hillary Clinton. So it's almost like, I just can't even imagine how her aides have been prepping her for this. I mean, just throwing they're probably getting the opportunity to say the most awful things to her. We're just trying to, prep you for what Donald Trump's going to say, Hillary.
We're just prepping you, Hillary.
I'm not saying that about your husband. Donald Trump might say that about him. My gosh, let it all out.
And think about this, Leanne. What is Hillary Clinton's biggest bat? What is Hillary Clinton's driver? It's, I'm for women. I'm the candidate that's for women. Donald Trump is not going to let her sit up there and say that. He's going to point out Bill Clinton's rapes. He's going to point out the fact that Hillary Clinton wants to be tolerant of radical Islam, which is against women's rights. So Donald Trump's not going to let her and take that bat out of the bag and swing it, saying, I'm for women's rights. Donald Trump's not going to let that happen. So what is she going to do?
Yeah, give the money back to Saudi Arabia if you're so for women's rights. Give that money back to Saudi Arabia. If you want to veto the 9/11 bill, or she was one of the people that was in office at the time when they were holding off on declassifying the 28 pages. She was one of the people. She saw, but she's still taking money from Saudi Arabia, which is why I think she collapsed at the 9/11 memorial. But how funny is it that everything that they're doing with the DHS rubber stamping citizenships to try to get in as many voters as they can, with the media being complicit this entire time for Hillary Clinton, with Google, with Twitter, with Facebook, with all the tech giants doing everything they can to sway the election in her direction. Even with all of that, it is her health that might take her out of this, that she can't deny. But I don't know. I mean, even there, she's admitting right in her FBI investigation that it was her concussion that made her unable to do her job and to know what was classified and not because she forgot about her training. You know, that was something when she had the opportunity to take questions from the veterans. And one of the veterans straight up asked her, you know, if I had done that, I'd be in prison. Why did you get away with it? And she doubled down and said that she never received or sent classified information. And they just let her go with that. And this was after we even got to see what was in that FBI investigation, that indeed at least 100 things that she sent were and received were classified. And then she made the excuse that her concussion made her forget her training. Like, really? And no one checked her on that. But we are going to be checking her in real time here with our coverage, our crew here. It's trying something totally new here with this debate. We're going to be fact checking in real time. We're going to be getting reports out on the fly we're going to be doing the fact checking because we know that the media isn't going to be. They're going to let her get away with that like they did last time.
Well, and it's interesting you say that because, as you said before, this is already a controlled debate or outside of the ring controlled, where the whole technocracy is trying to pump up and inflate Hillary Clinton, a dying, lying candidate. But, you know, and you can even see this illustrated. If you go onto YouTube or you go onto Twitter, folks, Hillary Clinton has no support. If you go look at a Hillary Clinton speech on YouTube, the majority of the people watching that video are thumbs downing it.
They're probably her volunteers that are there.
You can't even, I'm telling you, I'm on YouTube all the time. You can't find videos on YouTube that get thumbs down at this rate. Nothing, except Hillary Clinton. It's the only one. And it'll be interesting to see, like you said, despite the lies, despite the health issues, despite everything, they continue to dummy up this corpse. They continue to put a bow on this polished turd and act like this is some real candidate. But we know better. But is she going to be her ultimate is her health going to be her ultimate demise? There's nothing she can do about that. There's nothing the media can do about that. There's nothing all the other lying politicians can do about that. We see her out there. And you know, you have the Drudge Report today talking about all the things that Hillary tried to get through for this debate to be to her advantage.
She wanted a stool. She wanted those bathroom breaks.
Think about this, okay?
Nope.
Hillary, this is very important, folks. This is something that was illustrated when they first started doing these debates on television. They first started wearing makeup, and the candidate that looked better on TV usually got a better response from these debates, no matter what was discussed. That's why Hillary Clinton wanted to stand on a stool, because she didn't want to look like she was being overpowered by Donald Trump. That's the optics that she wanted to control, because she knows she can't control the narrative. She knows she can't control the truth from now on. So it's going to be interesting. This is the Super Bowl for us. This is awesome. I can't wait. Everybody's been excited for this debate. I'm excited for this debate. I'm expecting Donald Trump to get into the ring and just knock this witch out.
And you're actually going to be in New York, so that is super exciting. We're going to have you actually there on the ground, giving us tons of reports. You're going to be outside, inside, all over the place.
And we'll be talking to people on the streets, too.
Yeah, I think so many people are going to be really into this, like it is the Super Bowl. So it is going to be super exciting. That is going to be coming up this Monday night at 7 p.m. Central. We're going to be going live. We're going to go live an hour before the debate. The whole crew is going to be all in for this, so we hope to see you guys there. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you here on Monday, 7 p.m. Central.
In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries in the area of health. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. DNA Force is one of the most expensive formulas to produce. Some of the ingredients in DNA Force are $12,000 a kilogram. We are using the coveted, patented, only American source of PQQ, CoQ10, and more. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? Well, we're bringing you a total win-win. The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the Infowar. We have produced a limited run of DNA Force, and it will take up to 12 weeks to produce more once we sell out. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.